Welcome to the Aaron Michaels Show, aaronmichaelsshow@gmail.com if you want to email the show. You can also follow along on Twitter at Wisconsin Aaron. It is, I'm not going to say surprising or shocking because I think it follows suit, but I'm still surprised at the amount of Packer fans, Packer media out there who still don't understand what's going on, who still don't understand the decline of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm listening to people out there who are lamenting the fact that Rodgers may not be able to finish his career in Green Bay, like he's still playing at the level of a 31-year-old. And that he's going to continue to do that when he has not played at that level for over 3 years. And yet, so many people still don't see a difference. And obviously Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst do. And that's why they went out, and that's why they drafted Jordan Love with their first-round pick. But if you don't understand that Aaron Rodgers is not playing at the level that he did, and you think that he's still as good as he ever was, then this draft is very puzzling to you. You just can't figure things out. You think that the Packers are giving Rodgers the shaft and they don't care about him, when that isn't necessarily true at all. It's just that Aaron Rodgers has not performed the way that he should have. And he hasn't been as good. You know, Aaron Rodgers just signed this massive contract, which was an obvious mistake by Murphy and the Packer organization. And you know, it was Mark Murphy who makes that decision. And some people want to throw that on Brian Gutekunst because he's the general manager. Any contract as big as the one that Aaron Rodgers received, that's coming all the way from the top. That's a decision that Mark Murphy makes. Doesn't matter who the GM is. The owner of that team, it's just like with the Patriots. I know Bill Belichick's got a lot of pull, but at the end of the day, Robert Kraft is the one who's either going to sign off on giving Belichick the authority to either keep or not bring back Tom Brady, whatever the case may be. You know, a lot of things happen there. If the Patriots wanted to bring Brady back, I'm sure he would have come back. But a decision like that doesn't happen without the okay of the guy on top, whether it be in the Packers case their president or with most teams their owner. They're the ones who are signing those guys. I mean, drafting Jordan Love, that can be a GM decision. Signing Zadarius Smith, that can be a GM decision. But Rodgers, when you have that big of a contract and he's the face of your franchise, that's a decision that comes all the way from the top. And that was a Murphy decision. And, you know, he just signs this massive contract, and it was an obvious mistake by Murphy and the Packer organization. And now you already have people talking about ways to get Rodgers' contract off the books. He just signed that thing. It just went into effect. That was a stupid move of just epic proportions. The Packers signing somebody who had been declining to that big contract. And then Matt LaFleur has to walk into that, and he has to try to make something out of it. And then he has Rodgers last year, who, again, as I've said before, but I have to say it again, Rodgers wouldn't run LaFleur's offense. Can you blame LaFleur for wanting to handpick his quarterback, Jordan Love? Can you blame him? LaFleur has spent his career compiling an offense, putting together what he knows, what he thinks will work, and then he gets a chance as an offensive coach. He's signed as a head coach, and he gets to, for the first time, fully implement his offense. Not Kyle Shanahan's offense, not Sean McVay's offense, not anyone else's offense, his offense. He's taken some from here, taken some from there, taken some of his own ideas, he's put them all together, and he gets to run his own offense for the first time. And he's got a quarterback who won't do it. He's spent his entire assistant coaching career putting together something that he thinks is going to be a masterpiece. He just wants it run. And I don't think that's too much to ask. You and I would feel the same way if we were in his shoes. There's no doubt about it. You know something, this is interesting. The other day, I had made a statement that, you know, should be a shame to some Packer fans and a shame to a majority, I will say, of people in the Packer media. They ought to be ashamed of themselves for the way that they've treated Brian Gutekunst and the criticism of his draft. As I said the other day, Ted Thompson destroyed the Packers roster with horrible draft after horrible draft, and yet he was lauded by the fans and media. Oh, he is one of the best. Yep, he's right up there with Bill Belichick. You got Belichick, you've got Ted. And he's the envy of the league. Not to mention that, every single GM, John Schneider, Dorsey, all these guys who branch off of him, including Goody, none of them follow the same philosophy as Ted. Draft only, don't sign free agents. But Ted destroyed the Packer roster with bad draft after bad draft, and he was lauded by the media as just one of the best. And now that same media and a lot of the fans are out there destroying Goody for having a terrible draft, low grades, not any good, before his guys have even played a snap. And you could see 3 drafts in a row with Ted Thompson where it's just draft pick after draft pick, bomb, 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 horrible. And then the next year comes around, oh, Ted is a master. Oh, he's very good, very good. By the way, Ted is the one who's responsible for Rodgers only winning 1 Super Bowl to this point in his career. That has nothing to do with Goody. I mean, oh, come on. You want to talk about something that's unfair. You talk about criticizing Brian Gutekunst for not... He's been there for what? This is his 3rd draft? and Rodgers has been a starter since 2008? 2009? And we're in 2020 right now. But Gutekunst is the one who's being blamed that Rodgers has only won 1 Super Bowl. It was Ted who was there. It was Ted who was a couple of players away. Had he just signed a free agent or 2, they probably could have been pushed over the top. But I brought that up the other day, how Ted was destroying the team with bad draft after bad draft. And then Goody comes in, and you haven't even seen his draft picks play yet here. And he's being criticized for it. Now, not by everyone, because Tom Silverstein, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, had a great article earlier this week, the day after I had mentioned that comment. And he just went through, I'll give you the headline. The headline of the article, criticize Packers draft all you want, but hold off on the grades. And essentially the point of the article is saying that you don't know how drafts are going to turn out. Sometimes you get players who everyone says are can't miss, and you grade out great by all the so-called experts after the draft, and everyone says, oh, you had a really good draft. Wow, you had a really good draft. And I want to take a couple of quotes out of it, because and the point of the Silverstein article is that half the time, or more, that stuff doesn't even come true. People who you never heard of become stars, and the big-time players who are can't miss, a lot of times they do. And he's got some great quotes in here from people around the league after Ted Thompson drafted certain players. For example, just reading here from the 2013 draft, Silverstein writes, GM Ted Thompson selected Dayton Jones with the 26th pick of the 1st round and followed it up with running back Eddie Lacy in the 2nd, David Bakhtiari, J.C. Treader, running back Jonathan Franklin in the 4th round, and defensive back Micah Hyde and defensive lineman Josh Boyd in the 5th. Now here, this is, he says, the player everyone raved about most was Jones, Dayton Jones. One of the biggest busts in Packer history. This is what people around the league were saying. Here's a quote about Dayton Jones. Best pick in the NFC North, NFL.com said. Someone else, Jones is relentless, potentially special inside rusher, according to Yahoo Sports. Washington Post says, well worth the 26th choice. As Silverstein points out, Jones played 59 games for the Packers, finished with 9 sacks, and he is not in the NFL today. How about HaHa Clinton Dix in 2014? 1st round again. You know what? I was just hoping, praying today. I heard somebody on the radio just hoping that Jordan Love would not be a bust. And these are people who defended Ted Thompson. What the hell are you worried about Jordan Love being a bust for? When was the last time Ted didn't have a bust in the first round? Back to Silverstein. 2014, Thompson took safety Clinton Dix in the first round. Let's see what people said about him. CBS Sports analyst, I love the pick of safety Clinton Dix in the first round to bring range to the secondary. Fox Sports said he's a great fit in Dom Capers 3-4 and will man the safety position like a general. How about 2015? Ooh, here's a fun one. How about 2015? Silverstein. Thompson drafted cornerbacks with his first two picks. Demarius Randall in the first and Quentin Rollins in the second. He took receiver Ty Montgomery in the third. Linebacker Jake Ryan in the fourth. Quarterback Brett Hundley in the fifth. Fullback Aaron Ripkowski. Nose tackle Christian Ringo. Tight end Kennard Backman. Wow, what a draft by Ted. That man is a genius. Why is it that these idiots in the media, not Silverstein, but in general, why is it that these idiots in the media drool over the dummies, the Ted Thompsons of the world, and Goody comes in and he's made fun of? Listen to this draft again. 2015. Back to Silverstein. Thompson drafted cornerbacks with his first two picks. Demarius Randall, Quentin Rollins. And then he took Ty Montgomery, Jake Ryan, Brett Hundley, Aaron Ripkowski, Christian Ringo, Kennard Backman. The experts, as Silverstein writes, the experts liked this draft. The composite grade was 2.84, which ranks 16th. Sports Illustrated, writes Silverstein, gave it a B+. And here's what SI wrote. The Packers chose wisely with the 30th pick. Arizona State free safety Demarius Randall is the prototype at the position in that he can cover deep and come down to tackle. It shouldn't be surprising that he went before Alabama's Landon Collins, who some saw as the best safety on the board. As Silverstein points out from that draft, not a single player in that draft is on the team. Dude, I don't have time to get into all these, but that's a snippet of it. And you do know that there once was a man named Mike Sherman who traded up to get a kicker, B.J. Sander. He traded up to get a kicker in the third round. And you're thinking you have it rough when Goody drafts a good college quarterback with the first pick and a big bruising, fast, potential Adrian Peterson type running back with his second pick. You know, the media just copies and pastes. And they copied and pasted everything to make people think that the Packers had to and would for sure draft a receiver or multiple ones. Certainly must do it in the first round. Well, the Packers never confirmed that. Oh, Rodgers said that he wanted a weapon, but obviously LaFleur and Goody, they don't care what Rodgers wants. They don't care that Rodgers wanted a weapon. They don't care that Rodgers wants the offense run a certain way, because you know why? You know why they don't care? Because this ain't Aaron Rodgers' team anymore. This is the Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, soon to be Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers. That's going to do it for today's show. As usual, fan mail can be sent, AaronMichaelsShow@gmail.com. And you can always follow along on Twitter @WisconsinAaron. Have a great night.